Welcome back everybody to the second part of my Exilecon Day 1 livestream react and review. This is your host, Black Knight. If you haven't seen the first part, you can of course go back and watch that first. But we're continuing now with the section in the Val ruins, so I hope you enjoy. I'm open for open conversation, discussion, whatever in the comments down below. And feel free to check out my Path of Exile and other content on my channel if you like to. But without further ado, let's get going.
We've now entered the Val Mechanarium.
Ooh.
This is the place where the Val built the
New
various
Val
constructs
ruins
that they relied on to power their civilization.
Really nice to see the return of the Val, also seeing more of the Val Empire, as it is stated in the PoE lore. They had a pretty large empire stretching all around Rayclast. Not all around, but yeah, very far and wide. Also, one thing that I actually saw is in the hut to the left and the right, where we in PoE we have Solaris and Lunaris covering our mana and life pools. We now actually have Innocence and Sin. Sin especially looks very different, so I'm curious to see if he will have a new model or something, because he seems to, yeah, he looks different. I would say he looks a little different, not as black and shadowy, while Innocence is just not just the typical golden boy. Yeah, cool little side note there. But I think if I see this right, then Lunaris and Solaris are still there. They're just very small at the outer spaces. Maybe I can highlight that for you guys. Cool to see. Also, new cool waypoint.
Now this is a find. A Val ruin that hasn't been looted?
Oh my god, like nearly all the Val ruins that seriously, every time you go into a, I don't know, Val ruin portal in PoE in the Atlas, it's not looted. Best thing.
I wonder why nobody's been in here before.
One useful feature we've added is the ability to call in NPCs to where you are to give you more information or help you with quest objectives, rather than always having to go back to town. In this case, we've called in Alva to find out what to do.
I actually think no one goes back to town unless they have to go selling or something, or for the important quest rewards like skill books and stuff like that. You just don't go back. You just push through, and then you do the talking afterwards if you have to. But yeah, actually a really cool feature to bring the NPCs to you to have the little chit chats and so on. I thought that was quite a good thing for the storytelling part of PoE. A little bit left on the road in PoE 1. So we're gonna see how cool that will play out in PoE 2, I guess.
This mechanism, if powered with a small soul core, it could open that door.
Ooh.
There should definitely be soul cores somewhere around here. They had to power these constructs somehow.
As Alva just said,
Haven't seen a lot of those.
Soul core to open this door. Let's explore. If you want to shave off some life without getting too close to some of the more dangerous monsters, a great option is Wind Blast. Wind Blast also doesn't do too much damage, but it keeps enemies back. The closer they are, the farther they're pushed back, so it's a great option for keeping smaller but higher damage enemies at bay. Note that the bigger the enemy is, the less the...
I think that is quite telling that you actually have an ability that focuses on keeping enemies at bay, because he actually takes the time to tell everybody about that. So I guess we can expect everything to be a little bit harder, or way harder, if there's actually use for something that helps you keep enemies at distance. Interesting.
They'll be pushed back, so trying to push back some giants isn't going to be as effective.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that would be crazy. Also cool if you could buff it that much. Nice to see that he actually knows the way to find things. Unlike me, who always has to run the whole zone to find anything useful to progress.
Consider me impressed. I'll keep investigating in here. Bring me in if you find anything else.
Poof.
Now, if you need to defeat tougher enemies, it might be time to break out some of the ice skills in the monk's arsenal.
Yeah, ice
Glacial
skills.
Cascade creates a wave of ice that moves slowly in front of the player. It's pretty ineffective against fast-moving monsters because most of the damage occurs.
Actually, I wouldn't say it's slow. It actually, from the looks of it, it's really fast, but at least as fast as the Glacial Cascade from PoE. I would actually say it's faster.
Right at the end of the wave, and so a lot of
Also
monsters
looks
just walk
great.
right by
Look
it.
at the eyes. I
If you
mean,
can find a
it's
way to
just
make the monster
incredible.
stop at just the right place, it can be very effective. In order to do that, you're probably going to want to freeze some monsters. The monk has a few different tools to do this. A fairly simple option is to get right in the monster's face with Ice Strike. Ice Strike doesn't do too much damage at the first 2 hits, but attack 3 times in sequence, and you can get off a combo that has a much higher chance to freeze.
That seems to emulate a lot on the typical monk from Diablo 3 who would do multiple hit combos with a bigger move or like an enhanced move at the end of the hit chain. Really nice to see.
Get in there with the freeze, then roll back and finish the job with Glacial Cascade.
Funny that he did a little push there and
Now,
just
remember how Glacial
instead of
Cascade is
just
an extra
moving
damaging spike at the end?
one
If you hit a
step
frozen enemy with
further
that
away.
spike, it shatters the ice
Like
on the enemy
this
and does
side.
a devastating amount of damage. This is a really great combo against bosses, as you'll see later. Oh yeah, and I've just been casually mentioning rolling around. Did I forget to mention that in PoE 2 we added a dodge roll to every character? Just press spacebar at any time to roll.
That's so great. Applause. No, seriously, it's just great.
There's no cooldown and no limitations.
Whoa. That's quite the
And it even
announcement.
has pathfinding in it, so you don't get stuck on anything. When you,
Let's hope that's true. Yeah.
when you dodge roll, you're not invulnerable. If something hits you, you're going to feel it. But most things aren't going to hit you. And that's because while you're rolling, projectiles and melee strikes will always miss. You'll have to roll out of the way of a slam that has AoE, but anyone swinging a sword or throwing a fireball is going to miss.
So it's not the iframe dodge roll that we know from other games like Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter not that much, but like Souls games. Souls games have that. They have the iframe dodge roll. Same goes for games like God of War, stuff like that. They have the iframing where you can just do dodge roll and for one moment you're invincible. So that's not the case here. You actually get your dodge or your evade, I'd say, and spell evade, I guess, set to infinity. I guess that's what it does then. Set to infinity. Or like maximum, just can't be hit. Really cool. Also nice that it has no cooldown. And I think, did he say that you can... Wait.
Now, another important function of dodge roll is it lets you cancel out of any skill at any time. This makes it so you don't...
That's the important part. What I just wanted to ask. But I thought he was still talking. So really important that you can cancel every action is just great. I mean, that's a really, really important part of dodge rolls in like every game. If you cannot cancel your actions, it's kind of stupid. Because it's not like you cannot really evade with it if you can't cancel, but if you can, that's just great. That's the right thing to do there.
Don't feel like you're getting stuck during a long animation when something's about to hit you.
Yeah. Really
Really
nice.
changes how skills with longer attack and cast times play, and makes dodge roll a very reliable feeling way to avoid attacks.
Also, timing gets really important.
So that's one way to get out of the way of damage, but the monk
Or
specializes
much more
in
important.
mobility, so it makes sense that it would have some more. Wave of Frost is one of our new attacks with a retreat built right in. You move backwards and throw out a cold attack with a
That is so
significant freeze.
cool.
A great thing about this is that it puts you at a good distance to follow up with a Glacial Cascade and do a whole pile of damage.
Really, really cool there. Those strats seem to be pretty strong. He's not getting them down. They deal a good amount of damage to him. Same goes to the sentinels. I mean, look at his health dropping. They're getting some really hard hits in there.
Another skill you can use to get some extra freeze is Shattering Palm. Shattering Palm is a palm strike that puts a small ice bomb on the target. Kill or deal enough damage to the target and the bomb will explode, doing some damage and a significant freeze.
Another skill emulating on Diablo
The
3.
wave of ice might not be enough to get that freeze off, but you still really want to use Glacial Cascade to get the damage bonus.
Yeah, it's a lot about the shattering.
The final
Seems
skill
there.
we're going to show you today is Flicker Strike. It's a monk skill and another
Flicker
skill that consumes
Strike?
power charges.
Wait, does the monk skill mean only monks can use it, or is it just like with the quest rewards that Flicker Strike is especially rewarded to the monk during progressing the campaign? But because I'm not sure about that. Maybe someone who actually tried on Exilecon can tell me.
If you've played PoE 1 before, you know what to expect.
Yeah. Brrr. Oh, so cool. But that actually didn't... Normally, if you use Flicker Strike, it feels like the camera is just shaking all over the place. This one, that looked a lot more fluent. So, great thing.
It's a great finisher for tough boss fights, if you were able to get some power charges beforehand.
Oh. Interesting. So now, I guess the amount of hits scales with the amount of power charges you have? Maybe. Just guessing, just guessing. Hey, that little candle just popped on. He can do it. Whoa, that guy just vanished. Oh, boss fight. We have a boss fight. Here comes the big meanie. Oh, whoa, whoa, fire breath.
Here we have Blackjaw, former overseer of the Mechanarium. When the Val fell,
Okay.
he was turned to stone and now guards the area. In order to take down this boss, we're going to need all the tools on the Monk's arsenal, especially the combo of Freeze and Glacial Cascade. Now, if you're a PoE 1 player, you might think you can't rely on Freeze because there's so many bosses that are immune to it.
Yeah.
But in PoE 2, that's changing significantly.
Like, Freeze is super
PoE
bad
1,
in
Freeze is a
PoE
binary
1
mechanic.
against
An
bosses.
attack freezes the target, or it doesn't. What this basically means is that in PoE 1, we were forced to add freeze immunity to many bosses because freeze just trivialized them.
Exactly.
Because of that, freezing was something you could only really
like-
rely on while pack clearing, and not something you could use as a core part of your build for boss fighting. In PoE 2, though, all crowd control mechanics now have internal meters that allow you to build up to a freeze or stun.
Oh,
Whatever other CC mechanic
it's
that
like
you're
poise.
using. It's a little bit like poise from games like Elden Ring, though the meters tend to be a lot smaller than those games. When you freeze an
Okay.
enemy, it increases the amount of freeze you need to do to get another freeze, but the increased difficulty bleeds away slowly. More freeze will always let you freeze the boss more often, but this system means that it will not get out of control in party play or interact badly with other CC mechanics.
That is a great idea. Also, look at that exploding rocks animation. Looks great. Especially frozen in frame here. No, that's absolutely a great idea. Because I think I actually thought that freeze was absolutely massive until I discovered that you cannot freeze all bosses. All the big bosses can't be frozen, so it's absolutely useless against them. This seems to be a way better system to tackle this problem with the freeze mechanic, to add in like a poise bar. Same for the other crowd control effects. I wonder if it applies to shock and ignite poison as well. Like if you don't, if your attacks don't have 100%, they put up, like the bar goes up, an internal bar goes up, and then they will be ignited if you stack up. Like instead of just it rolls the chance and you ignite or you don't ignite, but it just stacks up until you ignite. That would be really interesting, and would change. This already changes more or less everything, but that would change even more if it applies to all status effects.
Allowing us to let these kinds of mechanics actually work against all bosses.
Yay! So cool. He's pushing him away, funny. He's not too big. And he stunned him. Yeah, nice. That's great. Whoa. Nice to see that even this boss is... Wow. Abilities seem to evolve from getting more complex the lower his HP are getting. That's great. The Ring of Fire. Oh, whoa. That was close. That was close. Oh no. No. Oh. Dum da da. What? Do you see this little... Who is that? Who is that person playing the violin there? Fancy new you have died screen. Wonder if that has any meaning.
Oh, no! Alright. Let's take 2.
Okay, nearly down. Fire with the gun, come on, don't die. Oh. That attack is pretty hard. Those projectiles are high damage. But nearly every hit seems to be pretty high damage there. Because he's trying to evade nearly everything the boss is doing. Wow. That's a cool big bang. Really nice.
Freeze.
Yeah, he can do it. Just whoa.
Shit.
Yeah, he has more than enough health potions. He's good. Just keep calm.
Come on.
No. Be patient. It's okay. Don't run into death.
Get it. It's so good. There you go.
He's fine.
After this.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good.
Okay.
Now, yeah, great. Cool thing. The tension in the room just piling up there.
Alright, second time's the charm. So, Blackjaw has dropped a consumable quest item here called the Flame Core. It's a permanent +10 to Spirit. In PoE 2, we really want to make sure that you feel rewarded for exploration. It wouldn't be much good if we made all these awesome optional bosses if we didn't have something great to find for killing them. One of the things you might find for killing a boss is permanent stat bonuses for your character.
I wonder if that will be randomized loot. Like, if all bosses always reward the same, in the end, people will only run to certain bosses and do those bosses. Or search for those guys and kill them to gain this reward, to get the power up instead of, I don't know, an item or something. But if it's randomized, you really have to clear everything. I mean, that totally could be the thing. You start a new character and then all your bosses get one loot item assigned out of the pool. So you get them 100%. If you kill all bosses, you get all of the stat bonuses, but you don't know which bosses to kill. I think that would be great, because I mean, PoE is a really repetitive cycle where you always restart with every new season or every new update, or you make a new character. And I mean, you know how it is, right? You always do the same things every time. That would shake things up a little bit if you actually have to search, and maybe sometimes you get it earlier completed. On the other ways, it makes speedruns harder if you want to actually get all the stat bonuses, and I guess everybody will want all the stat bonuses. I'm curious how that will play out. But it's a cool thing. If you have that many bosses and a lot of them are optional.
This random area is different. Mark will have to find his way to the exit the hard way.
This is because I died. This is no longer rehearsed at all.
Alright.
I mean, funny enough, in Elden Ring, the whole region of Caelid is optional. So they made a whole massive region, plus boss fights, plus like it's like with the consecrated snowfield, all of that, both those zones are totally optional. You don't have to do them, but they have some great rewards for all builds. But you didn't have to do them to complete the game, you know? Or complete the main story, let's say it like this.